Right, and the colors are right. So okay, so let's go with pawn. Pawn.
Some people are still.
Let's go with knight.
Mods are exempt from emote only, so
Bishop.
Okay. Let's put you right there. Hope you're enjoying the chess today. This is such, he can't hear me, but this is such an incredible honor to, number one, have Hikaru pick me, and number two, like, have him as my partner. All right, let's do that.
Let's go with bishop.
Okay, I think we'll go here. So when you're playing, I don't know how much conversation we can make, like, outside of this.
Oh, I mean, if it's not going to distract you, I could talk. It's only I don't want to distract you. But if it's not going to distract you, we can obviously talk when they're thinking. So I'll leave that up to you. If you want to talk, we totally can. Knight.
Now I never know which spot to put him at, so I think I'll just. Seems like a normal move. No, I was just gonna say, like, when you play high chess at a really high level and you deal with sort of like the jitters and kind of stress, do you have any things? Have any methods to calm yourself? Do you meditate or do you listen to music or?
So do you mean like in between games or like or do you mean like after and like?
Well, I mean like the night before or like during the tournament.
Okay, so first of all, king.
Yep.
Yeah, what I would say is, like, especially like if it's a long tournament, most of the time once the tournament's underway, the first couple of days, generally I try actually not to think about chess, because most of the time when you wake up, you're studying the game before your match. So because of that, usually in the evenings, I try to actually not look at anything chess related if I can help it. And then I get back to it in the morning and start studying. But usually that's what I do. I've done some meditation from time to time. But the only thing I would say with meditation is I think you can become too calm sometimes if you do a lot of it. And I feel like when you're playing in a competition, you really want to have some kind of an edge. Like you really do need to feel some nerves or feel the pressure on some level.
Yeah.
So I've done it, but it's not something that I do regularly. Let's go with rook.
I think you want me to go here because this file is going to open up. So that's what I'm going to do. Do you play games? Do you play single player games or anything like that?
Okay, now you're not saying during tournaments, right? You mean in general?
Like video games. Do you have a Switch you take with you or anything?
Not really. I think it's just one of those things where for the most part, I mean, professional events tend to be in some pretty fancy cities like Paris and London and places like that. So usually what I do is I just try to go outside. Now I do play other games, but very rarely do I do that during tournaments. I mean, if it's not during a tournament, obviously I play other games, but during tournaments themselves, I try to actually minimize that. In fact, because you spend so much time looking at the screen before your preparation, before the game, I also think that's bad too. You don't want to be looking at screens nonstop. So I generally I don't during events. But I mean, I have, but it's just, I feel like it's more of the same because so much of the preparation is on a computer screen that I try not to.
Now, there's a lot of chess players that get into poker too. Do you play poker?
Yeah, I have played poker. I don't play it like professionally. And actually, when Black Friday happened, and I believe it was 2011 or 2012, I forget which year it was now. That pretty much put a stop to any ideas that I had of trying to play it more seriously, because in most states there aren't really that many casinos. I mean, if you're fortunate, you live like in Nevada or in Vegas, of course they're everywhere. But playing online and playing a lot of tournaments at the same time, or playing a lot of tables, it really makes it easier. Whereas the in-person casino experience, generally I found it to be pretty boring. Even if it's a tournament, even if you're just playing cash game, it's very boring because you're literally sitting and waiting to get certain cards for the most part.
Yeah.
Let's go with pawn.
This bishop could force a trade of this bishop. Do we want to do that? Which pawn do you want me to push? I think you want me to do this one. You can also do c5. I know you can't talk, but
yeah. Okay. No, that's fine. That's fine. Let's go with rook.
All right.
But yeah, like with poker, I mean, I think when you can play a lot, you're always going to have some action somewhere when you can play on multiple tables. When you can only play one table, and if you keep getting bad cards over and over and over again. I remember I played some poker in Fox, which is in Connecticut, and I was playing a cash game, and I think I wasn't the only person. There were probably 2 other people as well at the table who, like, literally they would look at their cards, and for like a couple hours they were literally folding, and they would be reading a magazine. It's just fold the hand, read the magazine, wait for the next hand, fold, read more of their magazine, and like, so when online poker in the U.S. became more or less illegal, and I think it was 2012, I stopped. I pretty much stopped playing.
Yeah, the movies make it look like there's just constant action, but 90% of poker, 95 is just sitting there.
Well, it's interesting because I think in that way poker is a lot like chess. Let's go with knight.
Knight. Well, you wouldn't want me to go to e5, compromise my pawn structure, so I assume you want me to go here. So
like with poker though, I mean, because when you play in like when they show like the World Series, or I mean a lot of these tournaments with the very big prize funds, most of the time that's like they find a way of editing the hands, so you see the exciting hands that decide what's happening in the tournament. But they also don't show like the hours where they're just very small pots, not a lot is going on. And in many ways it's like chess, because in chess, at least the professional competitions, usually the games are very slow and they go for a very long time.
Yeah.
So it's quite similar in a way.
I think chess is more mentally satisfying, and poker is more emotionally satisfying because the swings are much higher.
Yeah, I think that's. Let's go with queen.
I think this is the spot that makes the most sense there.
Whereas, yeah, because like in chess, I feel like when you win, like there are very few things that feel better, because it's like it's all on you, it's all your victory, it's all through the moves that you found and the way that you played against your opponent. So it is definitely very satisfying mentally. Whereas you're right, with poker, when you win, it's just like that euphoria. It's a little bit different. But I do think there are similarities between the two.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So do you think poker should be legalized or not? Because I know you do a lot of political related stuff. So
yeah, I mean, I do think it should be. I mean, there should be. I like the idea of there being some safeguards. Like if you go to a casino, there's always the number, 1-800-GAMBLER or whatever, and so people should be made aware of the resources. Oh, what's going on over here?
Let's go with bishop. Yeah, I think that definitely. I think it's true, but actually, I meant online, actually, more so, because like you can obviously, there are casinos in many states and you can play in person, but whether you think like online, like, because online, I think betting on sports is legal, or at least in some cases it's legal, whereas like poker online is just more or less not legal, like it's pretty much illegal.
Right.
Let's move bishop.
Now, should I go back to the same spot, or should I attack with knight? I think here makes more sense, just in case I want to swing my knight from d2 to f3 and then to g5 is what I'm thinking.
What is your profile picture, by the way? I can't tell what that is.
Well, it's funny you mentioned politics. That was me at a friend of mine's house named Jericho. You might have heard of him. He's a pretty big streamer on Twitch. We were watching the 2018 midterm results. That was when it was Democrats trying to take back the House, and so that was me holding a bunch of beers with like a really scared look on my face. It's a thing that I do for like every election now.
So like, I mean, you mainly stream politics. So like, what do you do, or how do you keep the motivation during the periods when like there aren't the midterms, or there aren't the presidential elections? Because I mean, it's at least every 2 years.
Well, I mean,
like, do you find a lull, or
not really? I mean, like especially with a president like with like Trump, he was such a controversial character. So there was a new headline every week.
I mean, probably more like every 2 hours, honestly.
Right. Yeah. But it's not like
anyway.
Sorry. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Go with the knight.
With the knight. Okay. Where did they move again? Okay. So I think you want me to go here.
So you're saying with all like the different headlines and things?
I mean, with Biden, it's not like there's no controversy with Biden either, because with Biden, he's despised by both the conservative crowd and the more progressive crowd online. So it's actually the discourse is actually, I think, a little bit more interesting with him. With Trump, it's like you were debating about like injecting bleach and just really weird things that he said, but with Biden, you
Uh-huh.
actually get into some pretty substantive debates about policy. So I think it's more interesting actually right now than it was before.
And I was curious also because like there were some articles, especially before the election, like has it really? It feels like it's really exploded on Twitch. Like again, you've mentioned before that you were one of the first people I think who was playing chess on Twitch, but like with politics as well, it feels like in the last like year or two, it's really exploded in its own right too. So
Yeah.
like, does it feel different to you in any way, or like you just kind of expected politics would get there as a medium, or
I'm kind of
Twitch would be
surprised.
the medium for it?
I'm surprised to see it to see it so successful on Twitch. I mean, there wasn't a lot of people doing it maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Okay.
Let's go with Pawn.
With Pawn. Okay. But yeah, some creators came around, like Destiny's been doing it for a while, and then Hassan showed up and he's just really exploded.
Bishop.
All right.
Let's go with Bishop.
Okay. I think I'm doing a good job picking up what you're throwing down. Don't comment. Don't tell me. But I think today I'm doing a little bit better than I was yesterday.
Let's go with Queen.
This one is a little trickier. Only a couple things that make sense to me. Well, I think you want me to go here. Oh, I mean, we just have a massive lead on time here. I didn't even look at that.
Right. Yeah. I wasn't even really. I guess that's why. Yeah. It feels like we've been talking so much. It makes sense because. Okay. Let's go with Knight. So do you think that things like Twitch are gonna overtake like traditional media? Like people are gonna look for like political analysis or things like this relating to current events more so on like Twitch or YouTube, or do you think it's like just this period of time because of the pandemic? Okay.
No, I think it's already happening. I think it's already happening now with younger people. I mean, like we have a long ways to go before TV is canceled, as it were. But
right.
But the numbers are just getting bigger and bigger for this kind of content.
All right, let's go with Rook.
Okay. I could go to F3 and attack that square. That kind of makes the most sense. I'm gonna do it. Doing it. Actually, I don't know though, because if I want to swing my other rook up there, wouldn't it make more sense to close off that H file? Nah, let's go for the attack right away. It's fine. We got a pawn hanging over there, but who cares?
Let's go with Queen.
Queen, he says. With Queen, he says. Okay, I think I see what you're going for here. Yeah, I see what's happening.
Let's go with Knight.
Harder to blunder when you're telling me which pieces to move.
Queen.
This is a nice little blunder-proof situation. Well, we got a pretty solid check over there, but I don't know if that's the. Yeah, you know what? Let's.
Queen.
And it's almost about that time.
Let's go with Rook.
Yep. Oh. Okay.
Let's go with Knight.
Now you're just messing with me. You just want to do it fancy, huh?
Go with Rook. Do you know what that is, by the way? That checkmate, if where you get the knight and the rook in the corner like that.
Are you talking about a smothered mate or?
Well, so when you played knight to f6, there's a queen that can be captured on g6, and then you go rook takes h7, which is a checkmate with the knight and the rook. And that's actually called the Arabian checkmate. It's where you use the knight and the rook to coordinate and make a checkmate against the king.
Which move was that available on?
On move 28 when you went knight to f6, right before the end. Just one move before the end of the game. Black could have taken the queen. And then you play rook takes knight.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
That we were gonna do anyways. Yeah.
Right. So I was just pointing out that's what they call the Arabian Checkmate. It's really kind of beautiful with the knight and the rook in this corner. But that was a great game. I think pretty much everything you did in that game, with the exception of knight d2, that was the only move that you played that was not the move that I wanted you to play.
Knight to d2 on move 12.
12. Yeah, I did actually want you to go knight to e5 because if black takes the knight, you can take back with the bishop.
But,
You don't have to ruin your pawns.
Oh, I see. Okay. I thought you wanted me like. I didn't understand that because normally you're more of an aggressive player and you want to like move your knights forward. So it didn't really make sense to me to go back there. I kind of felt like that one was probably the move that maybe I didn't get, but.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no, but I mean, that game was great though. That was a really, really well played game by you. Perfect game.
Thanks. Appreciate the coaching.